All right, guys, welcome back to Bermuda Grass Central. Guys, you just got some new sod installed and you want to know how to take care of it. Stay tuned. All right, guys, in this video, look, I'm just gonna get right to it. I'm gonna tell you how to water it, Pre Emergent, what fertilizer to use, insect control, all of that stuff, guys. So let's just start looking at the yard real quick. Guys, BYD got some Tahoma 31 installed right here. Big shout out to the Legacy Turf Farms out there in Cartersville for supplying the sod. But guys, we do have it put down and I'll jump straight to it. Some of these spots you may think that's like fungus or whatever, but it could be from lack of water. But if you don't know what it is, here's what BYD suggests. All right, guys, now remember this is for the average homeowner. They do have stuff far more advanced fungicide that you can buy online. We're not going to do that. We're going to make it easy right here, guys. This is some granular bio-advanced fungus control for lawns. Prevent disease and cure diseases, guys. I personally will go ahead and put this down ASAP. Now, I did call them and they recommended you wait 3 weeks before you actually put it down. My only issue is 3 weeks, whatever fungus you may get worse because you're going to be doing a lot of watering. So my recommendation, put it down ASAP. If you read the bag, there's nowhere on here where it talks about new sodding, all right? And I would apply this at the higher rate that they recommend. Because the last thing you want to do is spend $3, $4, $5, $6, $20,000 on sod and it gets ate up by some type of lawn fungus or something like that, guys. So prevent and cure it ASAP. This is what I would do next. All right, guys, my next thing I would do is put down some insect control, some granular insect control, and I would apply it at the higher rate. You can always look at the back of the bag and it'll tell you what to apply it on, when, and how. But normally they're gonna tell you a broadcast spreader. All right, now I do have a broadcast spreader. I have a Let's Go right here, 50-pound, guys. Normally, I'll leave links to these things down here if you're interested in getting them. But put it in there, spread it at the higher rate, get it on the lawn ASAP, because if you got any lawn eating pest, you want to go ahead and make sure that you control them, especially those army worms. All right, now you may not have checked your soil before you did this, and you could possibly have grubs up under there. So you want to go ahead, make sure that you get this stuff down and get it watered in according to the directions, so you can prevent the insects from eating up your lawn, guys. You want to make sure of that, all right? So BYD, what about the watering? Give me a second, guys, and you stay to the end. I'm going to tell you something specific about watering that you need to make sure you manage the correct way, all right? Next thing you want to talk about, guys, is, all right, should I be fertilizing my yard? The answer is going to depend. I would check with the sod farm that you bought your sod from and make sure you find out what they did to it before you actually purchased it. Some of these farms don't fertilize like others. All right, my sod farm recommended that I wait at least 1 month before I fertilize. Hopefully you got a soil test before you put the sod down, and that can kind of guide you also. If you did not get a soil test, please don't freak out, guys. Please don't go, oh Lord, don't do that, guys. It's not a real big issue, but if you didn't, I would stick with that 12, 12, 12, one that's balanced all the way around. I know some of you guys are in love with 10, 10, 10. If you want to use that, that's fine. And put that down 1 month after you put down the sod. Now, here's the issue also. Me personally, I'm not going to start fooling with all these other fertilizers. I'm going to wait. Even though you saw me flagship green, if you hadn't seen that video, check it out. But I'm going to hold off. You guys, this is new sod, and what you need to do is wait for it to kind of establish itself. Don't freak out. Just give it time. Let it establish itself. Stay off the sod and let it do what it do. Now, here's the other thing. I get asked about the weeds. BYD, what about those weeds? I can't go a whole year with those weeds. Guys, your new Bermuda sod or any sod, more than likely you're going to get some weeds. It's part of it. It's not a perfect science. You can have embedded poor seeds, and come next year you got the dreaded poor. All right, here's what I would do. I would personally, if it's just a small amount, go hand pick them, pull them out. But don't go blanket spraying the entire yard with a weed kill for lawn, because you can stress the new growth. Now, one thing you don't want to do, this is the cardinal sin right here. If I catch you doing this, I'm gonna unsubscribe you myself. Do not spray Roundup herbicide, the grass and weed killer, on any spots of your lawn. Because you've been told during the dormancy period you can go and spray glyphosate or Roundup on those spots, it's gonna kill whatever that predominant weed that doesn't have a selective herbicide killer. You just want one that's gonna kill it all the way off, like poor Dallas grass, mature crabgrass, or something like that. This stuff contains glyphosate. All right, glyphosate is the nail in the coffin for your grass. Now, having said that, I want to show you this, guys. This is Roundup for lawns. Now, this is just a suggestion. You can make a spot spray mix yourself. You're gonna have to read the label and all that good stuff, or they sell this stuff already in the hand trigger. But I would not blanket spray my entire yard. If you know what those particular weeds are and they are listed on the label, you could technically spot spray them. But here's the thing. I would not be doing that right after I just installed my new sod. If you just put down your new sod, guys, and you're starting to get weeds already, that means either you did not till up the yard, scrape it real good, get all the rocks, as much as that not good dirt off of it, and your sod guy just put it down on top of just regular bumpy dirt. All right, but everybody does get weeds in new sod. And I'm not gonna say everybody, but the majority of you will. So you cannot have a hissy fit when you get those weeds in your lawn, guys. You're gonna just have to deal with it. All right, this is not a sprint. It's a marathon, guys. It's a marathon. Okay, BYD, what about the Pre Emergent? You're not supposed to apply, rule of thumb is, you're not supposed to apply Pre Emergent for 1 year to get the yard established. If you apply Pre Emergent to your new sodded Bermuda grass, what's going to happen is, the way the Pre Emergent works is like this. Your roots won't develop fully because it's going to be touching that herbicide chemical. All right, then you may have a slower green up. If it's not established, guys, don't apply Pre Emergent. How long should I wait? I told you 12 months, but I'm gonna give an example. We're at the end of May, so let's just say it's June. From June to June, that's 12 months. I'm not gonna apply Pre Emergent to this lawn until fall of 2024. So I'm gonna go probably about, 16, 17 months before I actually do it. If your Bermuda grass hasn't established itself and it really hadn't started growing, don't be in a hurry to apply Pre Emergent, because that could really be detrimental to the yard right there, guys. And let me show you something else too about how the roots will start to develop and tack down to the previous soil. All right, so before we applied this, me and Junior actually tilled all this up. We put down a layer of river sand, a layer of topsoil with compost mix. All right, I'm gonna pull this up right here. Now, generally it's gonna take anywhere from 3 weeks to a month before it actually starts to grab on, but I want you to look real closely. You can already see the roots just after 3 days. Already starting to try to get down. This is the new soil right here. This is the old soil. Your sod is gonna come with a layer of soil that they use to grow it. It's gotta go past this soil, the new soil. back down into your native soil right there. That's why we put that mix on there to help it get down in there. All right, but that's gonna take a while right there, guys. You're just gonna have to wait that out. Generally, like I said, they're talking a whole year. And when you come out here and you tug on this and you feel it not coming up, that means it's starting to establish itself. All right, BYD, what about the mowing? All right, how do I mow it? Now, crucial mistakes is, I've seen this too. Guys, they have like lawn care services, and the lawn care guy comes out with a big ass zero turn and runs over the new sod, puts lawn ruts in it, or pull up some sod, and now you got an unhappy customer. All right, that's not the sod farm fault. That's not because it's poor sod. It's because those guys you hired didn't do it the right way. Now check this out. I didn't pull my zero turn out, but I pulled my walk behind out. There's no way I'm putting this walk behind on that new sod. All right, there's no way I'm putting my commercial 21 inch, because you'll get the guys saying, well, it's not that heavy, this and that. That's 112 pound more. That's too heavy for new sod. Which you guys, and this the guys who hate the battery mowers. I mean, I hate to say it, but the battery mowers are your best choice at this point. They're real light, but what I would do, if you got one that got dual batteries, take one of the batteries out so you can lighten the load. These batteries are 6 pounds each. So if I pull one out, that's 6 pounds less right there, guys. The mowing height, it's Bermuda grass, so it should be mowed between 0.5 and 1.5. 1 inch is pretty much gonna be your sweet spot, but you're gonna have to make the judgment call. I would not be cutting my Bermuda grass at 3 inches. As much as I say that, guys just don't want to understand that Bermuda grass should be cut at 0.5 to 1.5. 2 inches is just, that's my max. I wouldn't go that, but if you got a real bumpy lawn, then you'll probably have to go to 2 inches. If your lawn is bumpy and you want to enjoy your Bermuda grass, you're either gonna have to do some lawn leveling, or you're gonna have to get that yard rolled and get it as flat as possible. So your mowing height should be around, let's just say 1 inch on the new side, because last thing you want to do is be cutting this and your blade dig in and it pulls a piece of it up and tears into it. So guys, now that you got that, let me give you some no-nos, some real hard no-nos that I've heard people doing this, but I couldn't believe it. But let me show you real quick. Guys, you should not be putting a PGR, plant growth regulator, down on new sod at all. Matter of fact, the first year or two, I wouldn't even touch this stuff right here on my new sod. Let it grow and let it get well established before you start playing God with your grass. BYD, can I put a weed and feed down? The answer is NO. Do not apply a weed and feed to your lawn, guys. This stuff, even though it says it can go on Bermuda grass, it's not made for a new sod. Now, when you look at the back, some of this will say new sodding, this and that. Guys, I've been doing this for a while, and I've seen people put this stuff down 6 months to a year after it, and they had issues. So we're gonna wait at least 12 whole months before we even think about a weed and feed. All right, BYD, what about watering? How should we handle the watering crisis or situation, guys? Generally, you're gonna water your Bermuda lawn or your new sod 3 times a day. 1, 2, 3 times a day, guys. So when you're watering it, try to do it at least 3 times a day when you first start. All right. Depending on where you stay at, you guys in Texas, you might have to do it 4 times a day. You have to keep this Bermuda grass sod moist. If it dries out, guys, that's when you can introduce a lawn fungus. You may kill the grass because it's not established. Those roots need that water, that dirt needs to be moist at all times, guys. So get ready to get the water bill up there, guys. If you're concerned about a water bill, then you should not be buying sod, because you're gonna have to put some water down on it, guys. And like I said, if you don't have a sprinkler system, you can get heads like this, even though I need to put another gasket down there. These run generally about $20, $25, guys. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in it. It's got all kinds of settings on it right there, guys, where you can change it, do whatever you want to do with it, but you have to water the lawn. Now, after you did that for a week, 3 times a day for a week, I would throttle back to twice a day for a week. 3rd week, once a day. Then after that, you got to adjust your watering schedule. Hopefully by then you're well established. Not well established, but you got some roots going in there and you can water as normal. Guys, if you're concerned about the time, listen, 30, 45 minutes, you got to water deeply. If you're watering new sod 8 minutes, then something is wrong. You got to water deeply when you first start. These little timers right here don't cost much, guys. You can pick one of them at Home Depot, Walmart, Amazon while you're buying the sprinkler head, and you could set a timer on each one. That way you don't overwater, but you at least get your 30 minutes of good watering in. All right, so let me show you a cheat code right here. The Hydretain 4-play or the regular Hydretain is going to work wonders. This is going to help save a lot of extra watering. And the way this works is you got to water your yard thoroughly before you apply this. All right, and this goes for the regular grass too right here, guys. And by the way, let me let you see the crushed out neighbor. This is the good side right here. Look at it. Look at that. That's flagship green, guys. Click on that video link up there if you want to watch that video. But you got to water this stuff thoroughly and get the ground good and wet. Once you do that, you come and apply the Hydretain, 9 ounces per 1,000 square feet. Once you put this down, you have to water this into the soil. This is not a plant food, all right? You got to water this stuff right here, guys, off the grass, all right? And you got to water it down deep into the soil. Once it's in the soil, what this is supposed to do is get close to the roots and attract moisture towards the roots of your grass. 24 hours after you do that second water and come back and make sure, well, you're going to do that anyway, but you got to water it in again to get it deeper into the soil. Because remember, you're not just going through this. You're trying to get it down to that sub level too. Look at those roots, man. Oh my goodness. But you're trying to get it down to that sub level also, guys. So that's the Hydretain 4-play or the regular Hydretain. We'll put a link in the description if you're interested in it. But this right here, guys, is going to help save you thousands of dollars to keep your sod from drying out. All right, guys, and I may have already talked about it, but I want to talk about it one more time. Guys, get you some play sand, some masonry sand, whatever sand you can get. And when you see all these joints, fill them in ASAP. What's going to happen is that's like the glue between the gap. That's going to let that grass run straight across, and it'll tighten it up and it'll pull it together. That way you have grass throughout that. Guys, this is, like I said, this is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Your first year, you just need to let this grass do what it do. You got to keep off of it. Also, wherever you have your sprinkler heads, you got to make sure that it's covering every square inch of the new sod. I have 3 heads, 1, 2, 3, and when I turn them on, it covers all 4,000 every square inch. I'm wetting up some trees and stuff, but it is what it is, guys. The reason I'm telling you this is because you don't need to keep moving these heads, because you need to stay off this sod as much as possible. Don't let your kids come out here playing on the new sod. Don't let your dog come out here peeing or crapping on the new sod. These are some of the things you got to do. BYD, I have a dog. That's not my issue. But you just spent $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on some sod. You better find somewhere else for Fido to use the bathroom. So guys, that's pretty much it. Now, when you water, make sure you water 3 times a day. Don't water at night. All right, start around 7 o'clock in the morning. Pick your time, 7, 8, 9, come back 10, 11, 12, come back at 1. However you want to do it, spread it 4 hours apart, but you got to keep the yard moist. If you see it drying out, you got to turn that water on. Go out there and check it daily. Don't just rely on you think it's wet. Go out there and check it daily and make sure. Guys, hopefully this video has helped somebody who's trying to maintain their new sod. If so, guys, consider subscribing, guys. Click that subscription button, ring that notification bell. Every time BYD uploads a video, you'll be notified by YouTube. So guys, once again, you're tuned into Bermuda Grass Central with BYD. This is Michael Bowman, and I'll talk to you soon.